Harry and Meghan always complain about the UK, from feeling unsafe to being discriminated against here. Come join us to find out how things really happen. How much truth does the Sussex couple say? And now, hello and welcome back to the ms.royal channel. Surely none of you have forgotten that Meghan and Harry are accused of being deceitful and stirring racial tension, with the speaker labeling them as liars after Megxit. They left and always showed themselves as victims. Both the royal family as well as the British kingdom bullied them. I don't understand why they feel so threatening in England. I want to mention a little bit of an outsider. Jaguar Wright, an African-American musician, once shared about his experiences when spending a long time in the UK. Wright contrasts her observations in London with the perceived racial issues in the United States, indicating that race is less of an issue in the UK. Clearly, her perspective contradicts Meghan and Harry's narrative. Most people in the UK couldn't give two hoots if you're black, white, biracial, or purple with orange stripes. It's what type of person you are on the inside that matters. That's why most people don't like Meghan. It has nothing to do with her skin color or race. We knew the truth about Harry and Meghan's banal lies and unfounded stories. The UK is a melting pot. There are mixed race families and couples. White families adopt colored children. Does that sound like it is racist? The all racist in the royal family was Meghan. She and Meghan trashed the Commonwealth too. Neither seems to understand exactly what it all stands for. They broke the mold, and no one believed they needed to know every cough and fart of the royal family. The biggest red flag was the wedding. It's descended into a pointless, unprecedented shit show in modern history. There's been media forever. These two are the biggest media manipulators, probably unprecedented. I thought they wanted privacy. I so wish that we could just switch these two awful, spiteful people off. Maybe the house next to Amber would be a fitting address. The undeniable truth is that Meghan is a narcissist. She refuses to accept that her ego is what makes her hated. That's why she blames everyone. However, it's not Meghan's skin color we can't stand, it's her character. And do you see that she's the one who seems to dislike her own heritage? She is ashamed of her own heritage. Here's something to remember. Firstly, narcissists lie constantly. She is a mid-range narcissist, and lying is a trait that they all share. They will lie even if the truth would have a better outcome. Lying is part of their DNA, for lack of a better way to say it. Second, they accuse others of doing what they are doing. They say so and so did or said this or that when they did or said it. She is a racist, so it is not surprising that she accuses others of being one. Her circle actually had very few black people. Meghan also rarely interacts with them. Even Meghan publicly refused help from a royal employee because he was black. So who is the one making the distinction here? I do not understand Meghan's comment that she was never treated as a black woman until she came to the UK. For a start, I would say the majority of people in the UK were not aware of her being biracial, so that shoots the black woman comment right up the arse. If she had looked like a more mature version of herself as a child, with teeth, nose, and hair alterations, I can almost guarantee not many folks would have batted an eyelid. It's not that Meghan was never treated as a black woman until she came to the UK. It's that she never acknowledged her black heritage until she came to the UK. She had rejected her black heritage, evidenced by the fact that she described herself as Caucasian on her driving license and in other forms. Most of us accept people for who they are, not what they are or pretend to be. Meghan was the person who brought up the subject of race and stated the UK is racist. That and her treatment of the late Queen sealed her fate as far as the majority in the UK are concerned. Skin color has absolutely nothing at all to do with our dislike of her. When she was found out about her vulgarity and obnoxious character during the engagement, that's when the black card was played and her threats started emerging. Inviting only Doria to the wedding was to ensure the biracial narrative was endorsed, and excluding other members of her family was so that she wasn't found out. She is a racist and is ashamed of her roots. I so dislike Rachel Markle because she did her best to stir up racial hatred in the UK where it was not there. Britain is not perfect, but mostly people live just fine together. But every time something did not go her way, people were racist. But she made it uncomfortable for a long while, when it wasn't before. That is why people hope she never returns to the UK. These allegations are the worst thing Markle has done. She has caused irreparable harm within the Commonwealth, which is predominantly people of color, and was the late Queen's most treasured achievement. How a D-list American actress can cause so much damage to one of the world's greatest institutions is something for the ages. In the beginning, the majority of the people of the UK welcomed Meghan and the marriage to Prince Harry with open arms and great enthusiasm. That is on record. Meghan was always protected and received full-on security as a senior royal. She even received training on what to do and what to expect. Why did Harry and Meghan forget those things and say they felt threatened here? They even left because they were worried about Meghan and their child. Why ever quit that level of security detail and security detail for your children if some racist comments have you that worried? That makes no sense. Princess Anne was nearly kidnapped, Charles was shot at, has had eggs thrown at him. Queen Elizabeth had a bedroom intruder, bomb threats, and blank gunshots that startled her horse. It's not words, it's actions. You do not sink an entire country over the actions of a few bad apples unless you are seeking a reason to give you a purpose to do something. When the UK became aware, they obviously made it right, but Meghan didn't give that understanding or opportunity because she had an agenda of her own unbeknownst to the public. I believe that if Meghan accepted what she had, she would have a much easier life. Harry's American wife didn't like Britain or its heritage or tradition. She just wanted to live in a big palace, have loads of money, and treat everyone poorly. Buckingham Palace is like a giant hotel. I can see why King Charles prefers to live at Clarence House while the Prince and Princess of Wales prefer Adelaide Cottage. They want to live in cozy homes while Meghan wants a gigantic hotel for her ego. Both Harry and Meghan are selfish and jealous of others. Harry has always been jealous of William. He is just too lazy and too spoiled to get any kind of decent job. Instead of doing something good, he and his narcissistic wife travel the world constantly in private jets and pollute a lot. And when others criticize them for what they do wrong, they play the bullied victim card. Race card is one of their favorites. Meghan always uses this tag when she wants sympathy. Yet she and her husband have never once spoken out about the Africa Park scandal. Isn't it extraordinary that Harry is very vocal repeatedly regarding the dreadful behavior of his family, but is totally silent about the utterly appalling behavior of people within his charity? He still hasn't addressed the Baka people in African Park's atrocity. Very telling indeed. It's really sad as there were such high hopes for them at the beginning. Meghan was welcomed and Harry was more popular than he'd ever been, and they ruined it for themselves and insulted the public who had such high hopes for what appeared at first to be a lovely young couple. The problems were even starting to be spotted at their wedding. Harry and Meghan let so many people down. They had so much, but most of all they have let themselves down. And that cannot be repaired. The Harkles are never satisfied. They're both very entitled and believe they deserve more. They betrayed her family, his family business, and his country and its people who warmly welcomed Meghan only for them to lie about his family and countrymen. They chose on their own to walk away and give up an honorable life. Now please finish their request and remove the titles, even though they are so short-sighted not to see all of their wishes and actions. Meghan planned to lure Harry away from the royal family from the beginning. She didn't want to stay. The interview with Oprah was just part of the plan. I wonder if Oprah would invite Harry and Meghan to live free of charge in her massive, sprawling palace, which she calls home. Perhaps her level of security might suit the needs of the Montecito grifters. Or perhaps Oprah might recall that Harry and Meghan have big mouths and had no problem quoting Oprah's rude comment while she was actually within the grounds of the royal family's Windsor castle. I should imagine that if Oprah agreed to appear with Meghan for several of the cooking shows, that might guarantee Meghan a healthy success with her latest project. Does anyone know if Oprah has offered to help out Harry and Meghan to get a good lift off of their strange projects? After all, she was a guest at their wedding, and they also agreed to appear in her interview to trash the royal family who had treated Meghan with such kindness and generosity. A few allies helped Harry and Meghan in their plan to use this race card. However, it is gradually being exposed. I believe sooner or later this card will lose its effectiveness. In fact, now that everyone knows the true nature of the Sussex couple, every scenario is predictable. This world will not be as easily deceived as Meghan hopes. And that also brings us to the end of this video. If you agree with my opinion, please comment okay. If not, please express so we can know your opinion. Don't forget to like and share the video. Your support is our motivation. Let's subscribe to receive notifications about the newest videos. We will be back soon. Thank you for watching and goodbye.